Good afternoon, dear students. Previous session we learned about economic activities by men and women. Getting now. So, actually, the different activities, such as called as economic activities, especially the activities which are including the production of goods and services, and which are the activities add value to the national income also, and these activities also called as economic activities. Getting now. So I told that economic activities have two parts. So one is that market activities and non-market activities. So all those things we learned in the previous session only. Today's class we are going to discuss about quality of a population. Quality of population. So dear students, the quality of population depends upon the literacy rate is most important. It depend upon literacy, whether it is enough, the literacy rate is enough. If suppose if the people are literate, then can we say those people quality is so high? No. So even so, health of a person also, health of a person, it means healthcare or health of a person. So this is the second one, the health of a person. See, that indicates that by life expectancy, understood, and skill formation acquired by the people of the country. Getting these students. So here, the health of a person that indicates life expectancy. Life expectancy. See, the life expectancy and skill formation acquired by the peoples of the country. See, the quality of the population ultimately decides the growth rate of the country. Getting dear students. So the growth rate of the country that is depend upon the quality of the population. See, illiterate and unhealthy population are a liability for the economy. Liability for the economy. ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಲಿಟರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅನ್ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಅವು ಆ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಪ್ರಗತಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೊರೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ. See, a literate and healthy population are an asset. So literate and healthy persons are, they are like asset. Understood now? They are asset of the country. ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸಂಪತ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಯಾರು literate and healthy population are an asset. Got it now? Now, I think you all of you understood about the importance of air literacy means that is education. Now let us discuss about the importance and the significance of education in this. Getting dear students, the significance and the role of the education while deciding quality of population. This is the main one, education. See, what we discussed in the previous session with the example of Sakal's. So there we observed that Sakal's education in the initial years of his life bore him the fruits in the later years in the terms of a good job and salary. But in the beginning, it was bore him, and the fruits in the later years in terms of a good job and a best salary. That shows that we saw that the education was an important input for the growth of Sakar. So the education is one of the input for the growth of Sakal. It opened new horizon for him. The education opened new horizon for him, provided new aspiration and developed values of life. So, not only for Sakal, dear students, education that contributes domestic domain. See, while studying the Jitu and Situ, those who are too small to be counted in the workforce population. Jitu and Situ. See, neither Jitu or Situ or Sheila can be counted as unemployed. See, the workforce population includes people from 15 years to 59 years. So, workforce population that include to 15 to 59 years. Understood now. So 15 years to 59 years. 59 years. Sakal's brother and sister do not fall within this age group. Understood now. They are not fall within this 15 to 59 age. So the mother, Sheila, works for the family. She is not willing to work outside her domestic domain for payment. She is actually look after family. She too cannot be called unemployed. Either can we call the Sheila is actually the unemployed? No. Sakal's grandparents, although not mentioned in the story, so they also cannot be called unemployed. See, in case of India, we have unemployed in rural and urban areas. However, the nature of unemployment differs in rural area and urban areas. So there are a lot of difference between the unemployment problem in rural area and as well as in urban areas. See, the nature of unemployment differs even this. In case of rural areas, how it is actually seasonal and this gives unemployment. So we cannot compare. So in rural area. So rural area that is like seasonal. Understood? And this gives the unemployment problem. Urban areas have mostly educated unemployment. So what about the condition of urban area? So in urban area actually the mostly we can see or observe that educated unemployment. Educated unemployment. See, in rural area we can observe that seasonal unemployment and disguised unemployment. In urban area, it is actually educated unemployment. See, seasonal unemployment happens when people are not able to find jobs during some months. Understood? So we often know that most of we people are coming from the rural background. So we know that throughout the year, so the farmers or the agricultural laborers, so they cannot get the work. It's not urban. So it is actually the seasonal. So the seasonal unemployment happens when people are not able to find jobs during some months of the year. That's all. Only a few months. So people dependent upon agriculture usually face such kind of problem, especially those who are dependent upon agricultural work, the farmers or the landless laborers, whoever it may be. So these kind of seasonal unemployment we can see or observe, especially people those who are dependent upon agriculture. So only those people they are facing this kind of problem. So there are certain busy seasons, of course. For example, when sowing, harvesting, weeding, and threshing. So these are actually busy seasons for the agriculturist. So certain mines do not provide much work to the people dependent on agriculture. So ಕೆಲವು ಸೀಸನ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ಸೀಸನ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇರುವ. ಇದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಣಬಹುದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. See, in case of disguised unemployment, people appear to be employed. People appear to be employed. They have this usually happens among family members engaged in agricultural activity. If the family members are engaged in agricultural activity, the work requires the service of 5 people but engages 8 people. What is this disguised unemployment? See, it is actually appear to be employed. This kind of unemployment, people appear to be employed. They have agricultural plant where they find work. How it is? See, this usually happens among the family members engaged in the agricultural activity. For example, there are 8 members in the family. All 8 members are involved in the agricultural activities. Actually, to finish that work, maybe 5 or 4 members are enough. Now, what about the remaining? So they are actually become extra. Understood now? So the work requires the service of, is the one example. The work requires the service of 5 people but engages 8 people. So here 3 are extra. Understood now? So these 3 are extra. Even if they are not involved also, that work it can be finished. But they are 3 extra. So these 3 people also work in the same plant as the others. The contribution made by the 3 extra people does not add to the contribution made by the 5 people. If 3 people are removed, the productivity of the field will not decline. Of course, if they worked only 5 people, the productivity of the yield will not decline. It is the same. But even though the 3 people they are working as extra, the field requires the service of 5 people, that's all, and 3 extra people are considered as disguised unemployed. Got it, dear students? The meaning of seasonal and disguised unemployed. So this is seasonal and disguised unemployment we can observe or see or saw in rural areas. Got it now? Now let us see that what about the urban areas? Educated unemployment. Educated unemployment. See, in case of urban areas, educated unemployment has become a common phenomenon. A common phenomenon. So especially in urban area, many youth with matriculation, a graduation or post graduation degrees are not able to find job. You can go and search. Of course, nowadays the towns and cities they are full with the migrants. You can ask anyone about their education. They are finished matriculation, graduation, post graduation, and number of degrees, but they are not able to find a job. Of course, they are all double degree holders, triple degree holders, but they are not able to find a job. A study showed that unemployment of graduate and postgraduate has increased faster than among matriculates. A paradoxical manpower situation is witnessed as a surplus of manpower in certain categories coexist with the shortage of manpower in others. Somewhere there are excess and some are the shortage. So there is unemployment among technically qualified person on one hand, while there is a dearth of technical skills required for economic growth. In this way, dear students. So unemployment leads to wastage of manpower resource. Of course, that is the truth. The unemployment leads to wastage of manpower resource. People who are an asset for the economy turn into a liability. There is a feeling of hopelessness and despair among the youth. There is a feeling of hopelessness and despair among the youth. People do not have enough money to support their family. They do not have inability of educated people who are willing to work to find gainful employment implies a great social waste. What happened now? They become actually a great social waste. Unemployment tends to increase economic overload. The dependence of the unemployed on the working population increases the quality of life of an individuals as well as of society is adversely affected. When a family has to live on a when a family has to live on a bare subsistence level, there is a general decline in its health, especially regarding health status and rising withdrawal from the school system also. Hence, unemployment has detrimental impact on the overall growth of an economy. So, unemployment has detrimental impact on the overall growth of an economy. Increase in unemployment is an indicator of a depressed economy. That shows that the economy, if there is the more number of if there are more number of unemployments existed in the country, that shows that indicates that the depressed economy. It also wastes the resource. It's completely the waste of human resources. If a people cannot be used as a resource, they naturally appear as a liability to the economy. ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಲಿಯಾಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ದ ಎಕಾನಮಿ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ actually burden for the country, burden for the economic growth. So in case of India, satisfactorily, the unemployment rate is low. A large number of people are represented with a low income and productivity are counted as employed. They appear to work throughout the year, but in terms of their potential and income, it is not adequate for them. Of course, ಇಡೀ ವರ್ಷ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. What about the output? What about their income? What about their productivity? It is actually not adequate, not sufficient. The work that they are pursuing, understood now, seems forced upon them. They may therefore want other work for their choice. Poor people cannot afford to sit idle. They tend to engage in any activity irrespective of its earning potential. Their earning keeps them on a bare subsistence level. Getting these students. So moreover, the employment structure is characterized by self-employment in the primary sector. The whole family contributes in the field, even though not everybody is really needed. So there is disguised unemployment in the agriculture sector, especially where we can see this disguised unemployment. Especially we can observe that in the agriculture sector. But the entire family shares what has been produced. Whatever it will be the produce that shared by the entire family members. So this concept of sharing of work in the field Understood. And the producer raised reduce the hardship of unemployment in the rural sector. But this does not reduce the poverty of the family. Of course, they are engaged in agricultural activities and they are involved in the productive activity, but this does not reduce the poverty of that respective family. Gradually, surplus labor from every household tends to migrate from the village in search of jobs. So that's what the students, we all of you observed that. So the migration of people, rural area to urban area in search of jobs. Now let us discuss about employment scenario in the three sectors mentioned earlier. That is agriculture. It is the most labor absorbing sector of the economy. So agriculture is a required more number of the laborers. In recent years, there has been a decline in the dependence of population on agriculture because of disguised unemployment discussed earlier. Some of the surplus labor in agriculture has moved to either the secondary or the tertiary sector. The most of the people. So they were moved from the primary sector to the secondary and tertiary sector. In the secondary sector, small scale manufacturing is the most labor absorbed. In case of tertiary sector, various new services are now appearing like biotechnology, information technology and so on and so on. Understood dear students. So it is all about in a different sectors how the discoveries to get the job especially to find out this. Now let us read a story to know about people could become an asset for the economy of a village. Now the small story, let us try to read that. See, there was a village inhabited by several families. Each family produced enough to feed its members. Each family met its needs by the members making their own clothes and teaching their own children. One of the family decided to send its son to agriculture college. One of the person. The boy got this admission in the nearby college of agriculture. After some time, he became qualified in agro engineering and came back to the village. After becoming agro engineering student. He proved to be so creative that he could design an improved type of flow which increased the yield of wheat. Thus, a new job agro engineer was created and filled in the village. The family in the village sold the surplus in a nearby neighboring villages. They earned good profit which they shared among themselves. Inspired by this success, all the families after some time held a meeting in the village. After this success, they all wanted to have a better future for their children too. This purpose they all gathered. They requested the panchayat to open a school in the village. They requested to open a school in the panchayat. I mean in the village. They assured the panchayats that they would all send their children to school. They were assured that all they would send their children to school. The panchayat that they would all send their children to school. The panchayat with the help of the government opened a school. The panchayat had opened a school. A teacher was recruited from a nearby town. Now all the children of the village started going to school. After some time, some one of the family gave training to his daughter in tailoring. She started stitching clothes for all the families of the village, for everyone now wanted to busy and wear well tailored clothes. So that's another new job that a tailor was created. So this had another positive effect. The time of the farmers in going for buying clothes was saved. As the farmers spent more time in the field, the yield of the farms went up. This was the beginning of prosperity. The farmers had more than what they could consume. Now they could sell what they produced to others who came to their village, which they formerly had no job opportunities in the beginning. had many like teacher, tailor, agro engineer, and many more. So this was the story of a simple village where the rising level of a human capital enabled it to evolve into a place rich with complex and modern economic activities by providing education. Then we can understood that if you are going to provide a good education, how it is going to be contributed to the growth of the country's economy as well as individual profit and income also and the growth of the economic status also. I hope these students you all have understood this chapter. If you have any doubts, so let me call and then try to clear your doubt. Thank you. Have a nice day.